Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the Transformers Generation 1 Technobots, and here they are. So we have Nose Cone, Afterburner, Strafe, Lightspeed, and Scattershot. So here they all are, and as you can see, especially Strafe, they're not in the greatest condition. Like, yeah, my Afterburner, he's in pretty good condition. He's got most of his stickers and everything, and he's not super yellowed. My Nose Cone, this is pretty loose, but whatever. I don't have a problem with them missing parts. The two that have, well, the three, I should say, that have most of their guns. Lightspeed, I think, has all of his, not Lightspeed, Afterburner has all of his guns, but I just didn't get them out. Lightspeed has the two big ones, and Scattershot has the two that go into his shoulders, but Strafe only has his one gun, and Nose Cone does not have any. But like I said, I don't really care if they have their accessories or not, as long as they can do Computron and look okay by themselves. So yeah, let's look at them. So let's start off with Strafe, and this guy, Strafe, was the last one that I needed for a long time. And as you can see, there's the bottom, which he's supposed to look like, and there's the top. This is one of the worst things I've seen of the sun bleaching or the yellowing. I've seen a very bad Ultra Magnus cab that was nearly orange, but my Strafe is not too far off. It looks even worse in person, I think. Then Afterburner, you know, he's really nice. Most of his stickers are nice and crisp. That one's a little chewed up, but these two right here and the Autobot symbol still look really nice. And the rub sign, Nose Cone, he's okay. Have a little bit of paint chipping, and then this is loose, but he's okay. And then Lightspeed was the first Technobot that I got, and I really like it. Love this sleek car mode. And then Scattershot, he is okay. Really love the design of this. Really love how this guy transforms. Mine is broken at this wing piece. These hinge pieces that are in his leg are broken. Like on this side, you can see right there, and then right there. So yeah, he's okay, but he's not in perfect condition. So before I get into these guys, I'm gonna show off Scattershot's cannon mode. So I'm just going to push these guys off the side, and we're going to flip up the landing gear and simply just bend his knees, or what will become his knees, if you can see how he sort of transforms. I think you flip the wings down like this, or you click them down one more or something. It's been a long time since I've played with this guy, played around and messed with him. And then we take the shield, and there are these two slots that will go over this tab. So just line that up like that. I don't know why he's not sitting very flush, but it's okay. And then you come to this button, and it's supposed to open it like that and create the barrel. And I don't think I did it right at all, but I really like the mode. I love the idea of him transforming into a torso, a guy, a cannon, and an airplane. I really like that idea. I think that's super fun. I just really like the idea of him transforming into like an artillery cannon or whatever. I just think that's so fun and cool. So while I have Scattershot in my hand, I'll just go ahead and transform him. So I'm going to just move that out of the way and to flip the legs around like that. And this will be the front of the legs, and I'll just flip the wings back. So now I'll twist the waist. Oops, wrong way. It's just really tough because like it's like the chest plate's right there, and like these stickers, I guess, like what? Like, it's kind of strange and tough just to see, like, because he transforms so odd, like, his legs flipping around the sides of his torso. He's just an odd toy, and that's why I didn't notice that little wobble, but I really like this guy. I love G1 Scattershot not more than Cybertron Scattershot, but I really, really like him. But we'll move him off the side before I get too far in. Now, Lightspeed, super simple. Just pull that out, flip it, and then extend it, and then we'll swing that hand around, swing that hand around, and then just flip that over. And simple little Scramble City guy. Afterburner. This is my second Afterburner because my first Afterburner broke at this hinge, because even this one is super, super tight, because I don't know why it's so tight. Just this joint right here, I typically, if I can remember correctly, I would hold it like this to not put stress on that joint. But I haven't seen it as like a common breakage on others, but it sure happened to the other one. And for how tight this one is, I wouldn't put it past it that is a common breakage. So there's Afterburner, and now nose cone, even simpler. Just flip that, and I guess you could leave it like this, but I like to spin them around so these silver accents are like his fists. That's just what I like to do. Now Strafe, I only have one of his guns, so his plane looks kind of odd, but just pull that off, do that, and then turn his wings. I'll just angle it a little bit and give him one of the guns so he looks at least somewhat okay. And there he is. So because I have him in my hand, I'll start with him first. If he wasn't so yellowed, he'd be a cool toy. I love the red face. Looks super, super cool. Obviously, he has that paint chip on his face, but even him being super yellowed, I still really like him. He would look better if he had both of his guns, but it's okay. I really, really like this guy, and he's not cool enough that I feel like he should have been the last guy I needed to complete Computron, but I still like him. He still looks okay. I wish the wings could have done something else. Like, just because they're so long, they look out of place when they're out, and they look out of place when they're back here. But I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. He's not my favorite in the set, but he's still okay. Afterburner, I really like Afterburner. The nice silver face. And mine, obviously, like I said, has nice stickers, not all scratched up, really taken care of. Afterburner, I like his robot mode. His bike mode, I think, is a little lame. It does remind me of like Tron or something, like it has that like canopy over it. But he's okay. He can move his arms. All these guys can move their arms. Obviously, Strafe is a little bit stiff, but I like him. He looks okay. But now to my favorite is Nose Cone. I just love Nose Cone. Like, yeah, I feel like he was supposed to have some sort of chest plate, like, as an accessory, but I don't know. That does look a little bare, but just, I don't know, I like him. I like more industrial looking guys, and this gray with the yellow, or this yellowish orange, I really, really like it. I love the look of this. His colors, his super cool drill tank mode, and that he is the first Technobot. Because the Technobots were created by Grimlock, or at least in the G1 cartoon. I know nothing about them in the Marvel Comics, but these guys were made by Grimlock because Grimlock got smart, and then he had to build them to fight Abominus. So, and then he transferred his intelligence to Computron. But Lightspeed, Really like him. Just very simple. Real simple scrambles. He's the most simple Scramble City. Like, you can tell that he's a Scramble City toy. But even though he's simple, I still really like him. So now Scattershot. I really like Scattershot. He actually does have some articulation. Got that, and then he has this outward elbow or whatever. Nothing at his head, but he can kick forward, and he does have a knee. And that's where a Scramble City combiner joint is. And those two little guns would go into those Scramble City combiner ports. So that's where they'd go. But I really like him. Love the maroon and white. It's an awesome combination. So yeah, these guys, I really like them. I really like them. I don't know why. I'm just a fan of the Technobots and Computron, even though they're only in the G1 show for like 2 minutes. I really like them. But are they the best Scramble City team? I don't think so. I think this is the only Scramble City combiner team I have complete, so I can't really say too much. But definitely at least Lightspeed and Strafe definitely seem a little bit blah, like just that. Oh, we have another plane, and oh, we have another car. Afterburner, I think he could be cool. Scattershot is definitely the main cool aspect of it, aside from Computron. If this was just a team of guys and not a combiner team, I think Scattershot would be the only one that is cool enough that would have probably been a success, because he's a plane, he's a guy, and he's like an artillery cannon. These Scramble City toys, they're just Scramble City toys. They can't, I should say Scramble City limbs, but they are just, kind of basic, and especially compared to the other ones, they are basic. Like a drill tank, like you already had Brawl, like yes, he's not a drill tank, but he's still a tank. Strafe, we already had an entire combiner team full of planes, and even like Blastoff with being a space shuttle, well, he's a space plane, but whatever. Afterburner, I think he's a bit of an exception. Maybe you could say, well, he's just a futuristic version of Groove. And Lightspeed, he's just a car, and they've already done a bunch of cars. Scattershot is definitely the shining aspect of the team because he's much more unique. I still do like these four, but Scattershot is definitely the most unique because obviously he's a torso bot. Got to push the most expensive toy. But so if you're looking at just simply the bots themselves, not the Computron, the combined form of Computron, I would most certainly say at least buy Scattershot. I really like Scattershot. He's a lot of fun. He's really unique. He's not like any of the other Scramble City torsos, but that's just what I think. I still really like all of them. So yeah, let's get into Computron. So we're gonna start with the legs. We'll start with the legs, and so the feet, there is no difference. They're identical. I think there's no like specific one for specific side. I think if I remember correctly, there's no. So like you can see right now, I'll just put him into his combined mode, which is just transforming him back. Nose cone, I think Brawl does the same thing. It has 2 pegs, and there's no offset foot. And I think Bruticus had an offset foot or an offset peg for Brawl, but I do not remember. I cannot remember if that's true or not, but I know that Computron does not have an offset peg. He does not, no matter what. But I feel like that was something that people complained about or something that Computron did not. Like how Lightspeed, the foot is nice and centered, but on Nose Cone it's not, because he's it's not centered. There's no offset peg or anything for that. So I think, but I don't know. So now for the arms and Afterburner, it's just simply straighten out his arms if they're not straight, and flip his head down and give him this fist. He's going to be, if we're looking at it the way we are, he's going to be the right arm. And obviously these guys, right leg and left leg. And now we'll bring in the other fist, and I'll take this out. Actually, I'm gonna I think he's the Afterburner's the left arm, I think. I can't quite remember, like it matters, because they can do whatever you want. I'll just leave him extended. I know it'll look weird with his fists, but we'll bend his face down. I'm just gonna flip these around like that. Just straighten this back out. And now put his fist back in. I don't know why. Like, that's like a poly cap. Like from a Gundam or something. Like from a Gundam. But must have like dried out, which no surprise because he's so sunburnt. Just gonna put that gun back in just so he can have at least the same shoulder spike look. So have all of his limbs now. So now we will go on with Scattershot. So you'll push his head down like this. I don't know why that's so loose, but just move his arms in like that. And then you will bend his knee like that. And now we'll put nose cone on this side, obviously in the Scramble City port. Now, light speed in the other one. And I don't know why this side is so loose, but we'll just have to deal with it. And just hopefully he can stay up, because nose cone, you can see, due to his transformation joint being so loose, he wants to topple over. So we might have to have something to stand him up, or to keep him up. Strafe, same thing, the one on the shoulder. One on the shoulder, just put him in. And I'll just go ahead and quickly raise the camera. And Afterburner, opposite side, like that. Now, the chest plate just slots right over Scattershot's chest plate. Now the head just slides right over like that. And I'll just, maybe we can get him to stand up with this pencil. No, that's not going to do anything. I might just have to hold him, but here he is. Here is Computron. And as all the Scramble City combiners, other than like Superion and Menasor, with them having, you know, a specific theme of vehicles, makes them look pretty consistent. But this guy, Abominus looks okay, but just because his limbs are much worse, even worse than these guys. I'm not saying these guys are bad, but Abominuses are really bad. I like them, but they're not great. But just because he has so many different vehicles, just like Bruticus, mainly Bruticus, because at least Defensor has a semblance of the same shape of vehicles, but Bruticus, Computron, because he has so many different things. He has 2 flying vehicles, not in this case, but Bruticus has 2 flying vehicles and then 2 land vehicles. Same thing here. 1 flying vehicle, motorcycle, a drill tank, and a car. Makes for a better team, per se, but a less cohesive looking combiner. As you can see, you have one arm that looks kind of, you know, weedy, and then you get this arm that looks a bit more like bigger. And then with the offset foot, makes him look even weirder. But I don't mind him. I really like his I really like the colors. Some way, I think just the fact that he's orange. There's orange down here. There's orange right there. There's red right here. There's red right here, and then red and white. I think that's what sort of makes it happen, is because they have a semblance of a similar colors. Obviously, if you look at it, you can see, well, he's a different shade of red. He's orange. He's barely orange, more gray or gunmetal, and he's white with a bit of red on him. You know, he's not great. I think he's especially comparing him to Superion and Menasor, he's definitely a weak combiner. I wouldn't say components-wise he's weak, but definitely he lacks the same cohesion as the other two, but I still really like it, and especially for a late G1 guy, like when, like G1 basically ended, the G1 show, I should say. I'm not even gonna touch him, because, you can see that he'll just have a full rotation, and if you could take the chest plate off, the big chest plate, and you can work his Scattershot's hip and give him a leg, a kick, which a lot of the combiners can't say. Well, shouldn't say that. If you do some transforming on a couple of them, they can. But he's okay. For how long it's taken me a long time to get this guy fully complete, and he's not even 100% complete, maybe like 80%, like 90, 80, 90. But I don't really care if he's complete or not. I just really like him the way he is. Love his look. Love the individual guys. I especially love the individual guys, especially Scattershot. Like I said before we combined him. But this is how I have him. He's not really a spectacle. He's just a little combiner. I am glad that he is the only combiner that I have complete, because he is my favorite combiner, and I'm glad that I took the time, not really took the time, because it took me years to get Strafe, took me forever and ever and ever and ever. But yeah, I have multiple nose cones, and I have one extra light speed. Like, these two guys, super easy to find. So yeah, if you don't really like Computron, or you don't have the space for him, I at least recommend Scattershot, and then you can just pick if you want to get the Scramble City limbs. I do recommend this guy. Should you buy him before any of the other combiners, especially since, even though he's probably the least popular, and probably isn't the same amount as like the main four, Defensor, Bruticus, Superion, and Menasor. Should you buy him first? If you like him, go ahead and buy him. I personally completed him first because I love him. But if you're going for completionism, I would wait. I would go for the main four first and decide him or Abominus next. But I really like him. That's the only reason why. Don't know why. I think just the fact of his wide variety of toys, basically, that he separates into, and then just his computer aspect. I just love him. But yeah, I don't know. I just like him, and then he has some cool toys to go along with him. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. So, till next time, see ya.